The psychedelic revolution is here. If you want to integrate your visionary experiences into your purpose, get clear on your entrepreneurial path, and help people while you do what you love, then this podcast is for you. Welcome to The Psychedelic Entrepreneur, Medicine for These Times. I'm your host, Beth Weinstein. I'm a spiritual business coach, 3-time entrepreneur, and a lifelong student of psychedelics and sacred plant medicines. You carry your own unique medicine, and your medicine is what we need for these times. This podcast will help you to share your medicine so you can create transformation in the world. Listen in on conversations with psychedelic leaders, changemakers, and conscious entrepreneurs who are living proof that a better world is possible when you follow your heart and live in alignment with your soul.
IMCF, yes.
Yeah.
Indigenous Medicine Conservation Fund. Yeah.
Wow.
It's our second historical funder. It's a big partner. They really supported us a lot those last year, Indigenous Medicine Conservation Fund. And we have now a second main partner that is Ancestral Heart. I don't know if you know them.
That's how I know you. It's through Trisha.
That's it, yeah. Joseph Bassolia and Tricia. So we have two big partners, IMCF and Ancestral Heart. And actually, Ancestral Heart is our main funder.
Wow.
IMCF became the second recently. But they have been the first funder of us for 3 years. The main funders, yes.
Amazing.
So now they have less funds. So we have been obliged to find other sources and definitely Ancestral Heart become now the main source for us.
Wow.
We don't depend only on MCF fund.
It's incredible because I met Trisha in 2018, 17. Oh God, so long ago. Because we have some common friends and she's just been out there in this world for a long time. I think it was maybe 2017 or 18. And she had, I had heard about Blessings of the Forest being one of the very few, I think, or maybe the only nonprofit doing work in the Iboga world on the ground in Gabon. And that's how I started hearing. And every summit I've run, we've donated money to Blessings of the Forest. And I was like, I've never even touched Iboga. I've never been there. I don't even, I knew what it was. I was scared of it. But I've been hearing about your work for so many years. And now that I've actually worked with Iboga, I thought it was really important to bring you on. And this was before knowing what was happening in the U.S. with this executive order around Ibogaine, which is pretty...
A tsunami. Let's say a tsunami on Gabon. Yeah, really. It's a big wave.
Yeah, I don't know. What do you think of it? I have, I tend to have mixed feelings, especially as someone who works in this world of the medicine, which I have extremely great reverence for, all these sacred medicines. But it's this double-edged sword on the earth right now. So many people are seeking healing and, look around on our planet and they're turning to these medicines. But then there's, especially Iboga, there's a reality to like how limited it is, right? Like the growth of this plant and then the seekers and then this tradition. Yeah, what do you think of all this that's going on?
What the question is, what's going on with the West? I mean, I'm not sure to have fully understood your question. Sorry. What is the precise question? Sorry.
Well, so there's so many people seeking healing with Iboga, let's say, right, or any of these plant medicines, and I've been watching this kind of go like surging. And now suddenly, it's not sudden. It's been many years where there's just a huge surge. I mean, even in the Iboga space, I knew Trisha and I knew Elizabeth and Chor and I knew of Robin and Mark. And, I knew some of the Western carriers of this medicine, but there were very few. And suddenly there's many. And there's centers and there's Ibogaine and... is this a good thing or a not so good thing?
It's a complex question, but we observed the increase of the interest on Iboga worldwide for a long time. For example, us, Blessing in the Forest in Gabon, we advocate, we aware the public of Gabon about that situation for 22 years already, that there's a rising interest around that. It's 2 centuries that the West is studying Iboga, so it's not so new, you know. There's some waves. There were some waves in Europe around Iboga during the beginning of the 20th century. There was big wave around Iboga and Lambaréne in France. It's not so well known by the US side. There's a big story around Iboga in Gabon before the US, right? It's a long story. Well, now, let's say 40 years ago, there were no Westerners into the Bwiti tradition, right? It starts with few guys. And for example, Tatayo, if you heard about him, Hugo Biang-Poitevin, who is a French guy that has been naturalized Gabonese, that is living in Gabon, is one of the first Westerner to have been initiated to the Bwiti tradition, right? And when it was the case for him, it was a big scandal in Gabon. That's why guys could access to that. The French system tried to fire him from Gabon because of that. So it's 40 years ago, right? And then a big wave starts like 20 years ago when I've been initiated. That was, let's say, the beginning of the interest for the West of Westerners for initiation. But it starts first in Europe. Because there's a big Gabonese diaspora in France, because Gabon is an ex-French colony, and some Gabonese people in France start to give the medicine to French people when it was legal in France. It's illegal in France since 2007. So there was some retreat in France around Bwiti and Iboga before 2007. And I'm one of the guys who met the medicine and tradition in France first through Gabonese retreat in France. Right, so there was a first raising interest from European, and then American and British people start to come a few years after. Let's say 2009, 12. There was Dimitri Moudjanis from United States, was one of the first American guys who came. Dimitri Moudjanis, you maybe know this guy.
I know him. Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, I don't. I know him well enough.
Who have made this movie on Dangerous with Love, and he start to make noise, to advocate. So American people start to come through that network too, and some movies start to come. New movies done in UK with BBC Tribe has made a movie, and then there was like Duncan Bridgman and Joseph Ponte, who made some other movies. And then English-spoken world start to come in Gabon, let's say in 2010, 11, something like that. Big waves of that, So now to answer your question is, as Moubi Boal said in Denver, he made a declaration in Denver that I've sent to you, Gabonese people are not close to the West at all. Like I don't know if it's the same in the US, but in France, doctors have to make the Hippocrate wish.
Yeah.
I don't know if you said that in UK.
Oath. Yeah.
So if someone knock at your door to be healed, you have to heal him. And in Gabon, they don't have the same wish, but it's quite the same. If you're a Ganga, if you're a healer, and someone ask for your help, you have to help him. No matter if you're white or Black or Muslim or rich or poor, it's an obligation when you go to a Ganga village, a Bwiti village, and you ask for treatments, they have to treat you. So Gabon has never closed the door really to heal people. And Iboga means to heal. Iboga, it's the Tsogo verb. It's a Gabonese Tsogo. Tsogo, it's an ethnic group that is at the base of Bwiti tradition. After Babongo people. Iboga, it comes from a Tsogo verb that is bogaga, and it means to heal. It's the name of that plant, to heal, So it's a plant that is made to heal people, no matter the color of the skin. So when people start to come in Gabon, seeking for healing, they received them. It was not such a problem. It was even good in a way, because it's after the West devilize, evilize, demonize, I don't know what you say in English, the tradition of Gabon, after the West colonized Gabon, enslaved Gabon, forced Gabon to adopt Christianity and now Islam, and that the 80% of evangelists in Gabon, and that the West are really, really damaged the way Gabonese are considered their own tradition. Now that white people coming back to Gabon to get healed from big traumas, it's a pride, you know?
Wow.
It's not seen badly. It's also good for those people in Gabon who have been put aside the system, that finally now they can heal white people. Imagine for a guy from this network to finally have a white guy coming to their village and to save his life. It's
Wow.
It's a good I will not say revenge, but it's a good lesson for the West to finally looking for healing in Gabon. So it's not been seen badly, that part. What is seen badly is people coming to Gabon for healing and then getting back to the West and starting to do what is not allowed in Gabon traditionally, like making books, conferences, talking a lot about private stuff that they have experienced in Gabon, talking about their visions. That is not normally permitted in the tradition. You can't talk about your visions. You can't share your experience with people who are not initiated. Even with people initiated to the tradition, we are very shy in sharing what we experienced, because in Gabon we don't do that. You have to have your own experience and you have to process your experience. You need to take time to step back for years. Sometimes we used to take about 10 years to really understand your experience, and be really able to talk about it. For example, me, I had some vision in 2007 and 2006 during ceremonies that I finally understood 10 years later, So, because you see some stuff and you don't know it's symbolic, it's no matter the time, no matter the space, right? It can be in another dimension. And it's symbolic, and there's no timeline. So you can see something, you don't know if it's in the past or in the future, and it's very symbolic. You don't fully understand the way it's going to be, right? And then 10 years later, finally, this thing happened, and then you understand what you have seen, because all the symbols are there, the feelings are there, like the déjà vu sensation, right? So in Gabon, we don't talk about our vision easily. We don't talk about our experience easily. And between one village and another one, experiences are different, because every village has their own recipe in a way, Bwiti it's a living religion. It's not something fixed and written like the Bible. It says this and this and that. It's a living entity that changes between ethnic group, Bwiti branches in the city, in the countryside, between families. It's living. So you don't talk about what you experience, because what you experience in your village is not what you're gonna experience in another village, in another settings, with your own profile. Because depending the profile, you don't have the same experience. They're gonna ask me to do some stuff that they will not ask to you. So we don't talk about it. We don't write it. We don't make conferences about it. We don't make movies about it. It's not permitted. So when we have people who come to in Gabon, and then they start to publish pictures, stuff that you can't show, talking about the experience, what quantity of medicine they received, what they saw, what they expect. It's not about intention, but it's not good. And we can explain why it's not good, because it's very important to experience by yourself without any preconceived ideas, without any expectations. This fear of the emptiness is very important. It's part of the experience. Us as Westerners, to do not control what is the program, what is the setting. We have so many people who call and I want to know day 1, what's going to be, day 2, day 3, what time, what quantity. No, it's not like that. So when the Westerners start to do that and movies, and we start to see a problem arising with people then coming to Gabon with preconceived ideas and expectations and stuff. It was really problematic. And then we have a second level of people coming back from the experience with a loincloth and a broom and a red feather that they put suddenly in their hair, not in their heart, and then with few words in Mitsogo, and then they buy Iboga online, or they bring back Iboga from Gabon, and they start to open retreat center, and then they start to pretend to be traditional blessed healers from Gabon after just one experience, and we see that happening everywhere.
Yeah.
It's something that is happening with ayahuasca world, with peyote world, with every world of people. They come for a retreat in one country. They stay 2 weeks, 10 days, 3 weeks. And then they bring back some few tools like a broom, as I said, a further. And then people are impressed and they give their Bwiti name or their ayahuasca name. And they have they can tattoo it and and then they become servant of the medicine, with fake titles. And it's a problem. It's a big problem. It's a problem for people who go to those retreats. It's problem for him, the guy who does that because he don't know what he's doing and he can very quickly meet problem. And we have plenty of stories like that. So he can create him problem, big problem, low problem, energetical problem, a lot of problem, It create problem for the cause. Because if someone does bullshit with Iboga in a country, then the country consider that Iboga is not good. It's what happened in France. And then the medicine become prohibited in the country. It's the way in France Iboga has been prohibited because a French doctor who pretending to be a healer, he started to use the medicine to make money with that. And then he had an accident and Iboga has been prohibited. So it's not good for the cause, for the reputation of the medicine. And it's not good for Gabon. Because imagine that in Gabon, normally it takes at least 10 years to have the blessings to give the medicine. At least 10 years. When you live in Gabon, when you talk French or Gabonese language, and you are like the disciple of a master or a woman for all the time, at the service, it takes 10 years. The woman who cared about me, the Gabonese woman who cared about me at my first initiation, her name is Jeannette. She lives in Gabon. She's a Gabonese woman. She called me a few days ago to tell me that she will be consecrated as a master healer to have the right to give the medicine in July. After 34 years studying, 34 years in Gabon, being Gabonese, living in a village where people give the medicine. She received a right to do it after 34 years. So at least it's 10 years. So imagine that when Gabonese young people, they see an American guy, he come and he leave Gabon, and then he start to open a retreat center and to make money and to promote himself online, having a website, and then going back to Gabon with clients and money and start to corrupt the elders in the village to start to make a initiatic tourism with that. Yeah. What do you think young people think about that? They don't respect anymore the elders. They don't respect anymore the rules. And they start now to go fast to make a business. Because if the white people can do it, why Gabonese can't do it? So it corrupts tradition. It corrupts the rules. So it creates a lot of situations now that are new for Gabon. We see a lot of people now online who have retreat center and pretend to practice Bwiti or to have received the blessings to give the medicine. So now it's good luck to them because we have no authority to stop someone in Costa Rica to give the medicine. We can just advise them not to do it and explaining them why. Why? But it's very hard. I mean, we do understand that someone who has been delivered from dramas through the medicine, he just wants to scream everywhere that there's a miracle someone and you want to share it. It's human that is to have been saved, you want to save other, but it's very clumsy.
Oh, yeah.
It's very clumsy because it's like, imagine an African guy moving to the US to have a heart surgery because in his country there's no hospital with specialists to make heart surgery, you know? And he goes to United States to have that, and as soon as the surgery succeeds, he go back to Gabon and start to open an hospital to make heart surgery. Sorry for my English, huh?
Yeah, hard to say, yeah.
You will say that he didn't went to school at, I don't know, a Stanford school to get his degree as a doctor. He has not been improved into an hospital. He doesn't have the right to do it, to be a doctor. But now imagine to open the Pandora box of the consciousness, with people who had big traumas, with people who carry a lot of energies from sometimes transgenerational energies, energies from the land, energies from karma, energies from many stuff that the West doesn't know how to deal with it because they have not studied it that properly yet, you know? And how do you want him to deal with that? You know?
Yeah.
To approach that transgenerational energy, for example, ancestral energies. How do you want them to approach that? It's a science. And it's an unknown science for most of Westerners because most of them doesn't know where they're coming from. You can't imagine how many people in the West, I ask them what is the name of their great-grandfather. They don't know.
Yeah.
They don't even know where they're coming from which land they're coming. They don't know from which village they're coming. In Gabon, in Bwiti, most of kids, they know their origin for 10, 15 generations. They can name the name of their great grandmother.
Wow.
Because it's part of the knowledge around the medicine. If you start a Bwiti ceremony, we have some ritual, like Buluma ritual, when we call the energies of the forest, we call the energy of the space, we call the name of the ancestors, we call the name of people who created this tradition, we call the name of the people from our family. So how do you deal with that part that is linked to the medicine, you know? And that's where it starts to be a problem for Gabon, you know?
Yeah.
To see that people appropriate the medicine and few tools, and they start to say that they are practicing Bwiti and that they understand what they do. It can be seen as a racist position to consider that there's no a big science behind what they have seen, you know, that it can't exist a big science, and then they can easily do it, maybe because they are more clever, and that Gabonese people who take 10 to 30 years to do it, they are not intelligent, or, you know, it's archaic approach. You know, it can be seen like that. So it's a mix of pride. The interest of the West is a mix of pride and worry, and real big worry. So that's where we are today. It's a mix
Wow.
of pride and worry. Yeah.
Yeah. Thank you. Thank you for naming that because so there's a website I stumbled upon I think last year. I don't know who it is, but someone who's bringing groups to Gabon for initiation. I guess they do the one initiation and then they go on the website and they're listed as Ganga. Ganga, is it? Right?
Yeah.
And they all have Bwiti names, and I don't know who this person is. I mean, someone else has named the name, and I was like, wait, so you just go, what is it, 10 days, 2 weeks, you're in an initiation, and then they come back, and now they're listed as servers of this medicine here in the West. Is it just because there's someone then in Gabon that wants the money and sees an opportunity, and it's easy money, right? I don't understand how this is being allowed by anyone.
Bon, I can't comment too much that space because I don't want to confront them. It's not my job. It's not my work, Me, I work on alternative and solution, so I don't want to blame those guys too much. I know them, of course, and I don't agree, of course, with what they're doing. What I can tell you is the communities in Gabon are working on gathering, on structuring their position. You have maybe heard about Maghanga Ma Nzambé, NGO. That is the gathering of the biggest traditional branch of traditional medicine in Gabon. That is the Misoko branch. So then they have started to make the job to gather every temple of Misoko branch and then to sign like a kind of rules. I don't know what to say in English, to sign like interior rules of the structure, what they can do, what they can't do. And that like an order, I don't know what to say in English, but and they try to fix rules that have never been fixed before. So actually, us with Indigenous Conservation Medicine Fund and Ancestral Heart, through Blessing of the Forest, we are working on helping those different traditional branches to get gathered and to fix their rules and to explain them the consequences of some few stuff abroad. And it's them who are organizing them to clean their own house, right? So be sure that what is done by those guys is known, is not appreciated at all, but it's their job to clean that. Because Gabon, it's a small country. It's half the size of Colorado. It's just 2 million Gabonese people. But let's say that maybe half of them are not Gabonese. And there's around 8% that practice traditional medicine. So it's a very little group, finally. It's a very little network. And Gabon, everybody got links, like parental links, So that's why it's a very peaceful country. There's no war because everybody has links between them. For example, this guy you're talking about, I'm sure I can find some links between him and my wife, who is Gabonese, because they are from the same area. They practice the same branch of the tradition. And it's true. I know that we have links because this guy you're talking about is a nephew of another guy that is part of Maghanga Ma Nzambé, that is led by the uncle of my wife. So we have link. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Yes.
So in Gabon, we don't manage things confront. It's not like we have another way to manage problem like that. So what I can tell you is they don't agree with that. No. They are managing that in family, slowly, not speed, not like in the US. If you don't step back and raise the hand, we shoot you, It's not like that in Gabon. we talk.
Truth medicine. Yeah.
Yeah, we talk. Yeah, it's slowly. So we are Gabon is managing this situation slowly, and be sure that something is done, but not at the rhythm of the West.
Yeah. Thank you.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, and there's a nuance to everything, and I have heard about that, about how there's been certain conflicts approached in Gabon that have happened here in the West, including some deaths. And we all know, that was one of the things that I had heard about for years is like, oh, this medicine is potentially deadly. But then you hear about, I've heard a little bit about initiation, enough to know a little. And I'm curious, is it common or has it happened that there's a death in Gabon from this medicine?
Common, not so common. It's let's say it happens that it's not in the news, so it's rare that someone dies and it's not known. And once again, the network is quite little. Everybody knows each other. Maybe I'm wrong, but I would say maybe there's one guy dying per year, something like that.
Yeah.
Maybe, average, let's say that, known, But there's different reasons of that. Different reasons. So first reason is that people are doing it in Gabon, doesn't know what they do. And it's not only in the West. In Gabon, there's more and more people who are working in the medicine without having the right training. First reason. Second reason is that you have to understand that in Gabon, there's 80% of Christians and around 10 of Muslims. So all those people, when they have health issues, they first go to hospital or they first go to see the preacher, the priest. You know, they talk to the church. They pray to the church. You know what I mean? People who have some health issues, they go to hospital when they can, or they go to see the religious leader, like Christian leader, right? And when they have no solution, when they are desperate, that then they can't find any solution, then they go to see the Ganga. Wow. So it's quite common that some people arrive at the village, they are destined to die. For example, they got a cancer at the end, they have AIDS at the end, they have big health issues, they have infections, and then they arrive at the village because they are desperate, you know, and they are looking for the very last chance because they know that they're going to die. And at the end of the day, they are not afraid anymore about Bwiti, and they come at the village. So it's quite common that people come to die at the village, you know. Yeah, I've seen that already happening. Someone arriving at for example, my first master, someone came, he was with a cancer, and it was the end. And he came to die here to understand, because some people come to die also. There's some people come and say, I don't want to be afraid to die. And with the medicine, you can cross the first time first, and then to see that it's not, to understand what's going on, to see on the other side of the sea, and then you can die in peace. So you have to understand it's also a way to die in peace. You know what I mean?
Beautiful.
Second reason. Third reason also is that we are facing now a problem with fake Iboga that is circulating.
I've heard about this. Oh my God. What?
Yeah. Because of the market, because of Iboga is highly poached, because there's a big demand from the West, and because people now live in the city, 80% of Gabonese around live in the city, people don't go to harvest anymore Iboga into the public domain, they buy at the market. And because the price of Iboga is rising, people on the market can have the idea, like it happened with drugs, to mix Iboga with other fake trees that looks like Iboga at the way it looks or the taste, right?
Wow.
So then they can mix with Voacanga africana or Ravolfia mombasiana, that are other plants that are cousin to Iboga, but the alkaloids are not the same. And then
the
you can die.
Right? Alkaloids
are not the same. Yeah. There's no ibogaine, for example, in it. And so you can get a lot because you're not high, but there's an alkaloid that is not good for the heart, and it makes a heart attack. Wow. So it can happen also. Fake medicine. It already happened. So
I can't tell you the amount of people who've like offered me medicine on Instagram or Facebook over the last 6-7 years. You know, yeah. I don't know
because
who they are.
You have to know the origin of the medicine and the quality of the medicine. Okay? So this is the third reason. The fourth reason is accident, like a panic attack, someone making a panic attack, a paranoia crisis in the medicine, and he starts to run. And then he has an accident. It happened in Costa Rica. A woman went out from a retreat, and she did fell in a cliff, something like it. She fell from a cliff, like an accident. Yeah. But you know, in Gabon, there's retreats, there's ceremonies all the time. And during, for example, the dry season, June, July, August, September, there's all the time ceremonies everywhere in Gabon. And there is lots of people like kids, pregnant women, women with health issues, and people who are 70 years old, 80 years old, who go to dance with fire and medicine and sometimes they mix also with alcohol.
I've heard that.
and I can tell you with so many retreats in Gabon, if Iboga was so dangerous, we would have like death all the time, not one or let's say two in the year when we hear a lot, or once. We would have like dozens of deaths per year in Gabon. And it's not the case. It's not the case. So there's reason of that. Many reasons of that. And when you go to a ceremony in Gabon, it's not one guy who look after you. It's not two guys. We see in the West some ceremonies where one guy look after 10 guys, 12 guys, sometimes 20 guys, 30 guys. In France, when it used to have retreats, sometimes it was 60 guys on the floor in the medicine.
Wow.
So imagine that in the West, it's few guys who lead big group. Of course, there's accident. In Gabon, It's the total opposite. It's a huge community who look after a few guys.
Yeah.
For example, my initiation, I was the only guy for maybe 60 guys in the village. So
Wow.
There's always people looking at you, always, everywhere, each step you're doing. I remember to try to escape sometimes from being seen in the village, and there's a kid who see me and said, "Mama, there's a white guy here, the white guy." It's you can't go nowhere being like isolated, and no one is checking at you, and it's very hard. There's plenty of people who are looking after you, who are checking you, and everybody got his job. So
Wow.
it's very different from the setting on the West. And also there is some work that is done before taking the medicine, consultation. The West doesn't do that. They do consultation in the West model. In Gabon, it's divination. The consultation in Gabon is divination.
Yeah.
We look at you. There is a ritual that I can't tell you. It's not everybody who has the skills to do it. And we can read you. We can see your story, where you come from, your parents, the people around, the energy around you. We can read you. Behind what you said to us, behind even the questionnaires that you did fill in, we can see, for example, you can see the sensitivity, because I see your sensitivity. You're a very sensitive woman.
Very,
very,
extreme.
very sensitive.
A little too much. I'm sick of it.
Extreme. You can cry easily, and you can give your trust very easily, and you have been betrayed a lot in giving your heart.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
It's a good one.
This is
medicine.
This is consultation, divination. We can read people, and then we can know the way to approach you. We can know the way to deal with you. We know, for me, I know you don't need a lot of medicine. You're very sensitive. You don't need a lot.
It's a problem. It's becoming a problem.
Yeah. You don't need a lot.
Do you know how I came to Iboga? I started speaking to it. And I started I had a dream. This was years before working with it. I decided to start speaking to the spirit of the medicine and ask it if I'm supposed to work with it. And then it came to me in a very profound dream that night. And then someone that we know gave me a little, I started working with it a little bit, but I could only take like this much because I couldn't sleep. I couldn't even function. And then, it's so strong. So
So I was right to tell you that you're very sensitive and you don't need a lot of medicine. Well, we don't know each other, right?
Yeah. Amazing.
Okay. So it's consultation. First, we do that. Once we have done that, we create the settle around you. We know, for example, that in the medicine, you don't have to be approached by men. It's better for you to be surrounded by women with good confidence, to to build the confidence. So we know what process to build around you, right? And also, we can see that it can be difficult for you to purge.
not, oh my God. I had the purge of my lifetime on the second night.
Uh-huh.
It was the first night, no, but the second night, wow.
So
yeah.
we can find other medicine to give you with Iboga to manage that. You know what I mean? And so we build a system. Now, during the ceremony, regarding the consultation, we're going to give you advices. We're going to give you mantras. We're going to give you proverbs that are related to you. Because when you are in the medicine, you can't just be looking at people. Or it's not about that. It's looking about you. Mm-hmm. So in Gabon, we have techniques to help you to be focused on some subject. It can be the fire, the first thing to look at, the fire. There's reason of that. Or it can be symbols, like a mask, like symbols, colors. We can also bring perfumes around you. We can ask you to be focused on some movement, you know? We're going to ask you to be focused on some stuff that carry an energy, that we know that you need that energy to be with you regarding the consultation. For example, if you have a problem with your father energy, because you are not in peace with your father's side for any reason, we're gonna sing you songs to teach you why you need to make the peace with your father. Right?
I'm laughing because that was like my whole. I love my father dearly. He's passed for whatever it's been now, 12 years, 13 years, and that was a huge part of my journey. So beautiful, though. So
if we see that with your father's side, you have some peace to do and some stuff to see, we're going to sing you some song that carry that energy to help you in the medicine to connect to that energy, to connect to those visions, to go through what you're supposed to go. While you came here, we see it, and we're going to help you to go there with songs, perfumes, dances, advices, proverb, with the theater that we're going to build around you regarding your problem. Right? If you come to the medicine because you can't get pregnant, you have problem of fertility, it's something else. Yeah. It's another way to deal with that. If you come to the Bwiti because you have been raped, you have been abused, you have been victim of violences, it's another process. It's totally different. For example, we don't give you the medicine first. We cut the energy that you receive, that it's not you. We separate that energy of the trauma from you. We cut the leash. It's called la coupure de corde. It's a ritual for you not to carry anymore that energy. We don't give you the medicine before doing that. Because if you give you the medicine before cleaning that energy, it can affect your experience because you have a mixed energy together. So you see that it's a whole technique. And after your ceremony, we can give you advices, we can give you a name. The name that we give to you or you bring back from the ceremony is very important. Your name. It's like the lighthouse of your life. And so we give you that. And we give you a community. When you come to Gabon, you are initiated and then you move back to your country. Who will help you to integrate what you saw? Who will help you to remember what you did? For example, when you go to take the medicine, you are very high, you can't remember everything. Most of the time, you don't remember so much things, right? But people who are around you, they can say, oh, you remember when you were in the medicine? You have seen a color. It was green color, very light green color. Oh, yeah, I don't remember that. You remember what you said? So we help you to keep the contact with your experience and to integrate that. And you know, very often after the medicine, you feel very high, like, oh, God talked to you. You are an elected guy. You have like a messianic syndrome in a way. Like, oh, you did find the Graal. God talked to you. You are very, you did find a way, you feel like you are, I don't know what to say in English. I'm sorry, my English is limited. You feel like you are an upper grade. You think that you are clever than most of people and that God talk to you and the God and everything you hear is right. And you are in the truth. You can speak the truth. We call that the messianic syndrome. And it's very well known, even in Gabon, that people who just met the medicine can be very arrogant, very self-centered, with the ego crisis, right? The community also is here around you to not doing that because your father is your father, your big brother is your big brother, the guy who has been initiated before you is the guy initiated before you. If you are with the group, you can't be the guy who knows, the guy who went to Africa, went to Gabon, who has seen the truth. You are not anymore that guy. You can talk to a kid who is 8 years old. He knows much more than you. So you can't be arrogant. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But when you come back to the West, you become arrogant.
Yes.
Because you only know guy who had the experience. So in front of people who doesn't know anything, you are the guy who knows. And then you can make a mix of you think that you carry the truth. So in Gabon, if you stay with the community, you can't be arrogant. You can't. No, you can't. You can't. It's the community is here to remind you that you are a kid in that tradition, that you don't know anything. So humility. So you have to understand. I just tell you a few things. I don't tell you everything that is around, but that Iboga is used in Gabon for millenaries, not centuries, millenaries. Right? It's proven. We have traces of that. Right?
Yeah. Are you allowed to share the origin story of this medicine? What's the theory or the lore?
There's different stories. It's not written, it's not like the Bible. There's different version, but it comes from Babongo pygmies. Now, Babongo, they say where it's coming from, but it's part of initiatic secret of the origin of that. Some people talk loudly about where it's coming from. There's different versions. If a farm talks, he would say, it comes from Egypt, etc. Depending the group, in fact. But it comes from Babongo. Now, Babongo people, if it starts at the extreme south of Nile, it's a theory. If it went to Egypt, it's another theory. But it's a very ancient medicine, right? From Babongo. And people say it has been revealed through hunters because they have seen a porcupine, I don't know what you say, a wild pig eating the medicine, and then porcupine, and then kill the animal, and then some people talk about that, and people have other stories of dreams of someone talking, and they show them the tree, and they're different stories. Wow. So, and they're also mystical, secret stories, right? So I can't tell you everything, but anyway, it comes from Babongo, and they use the medicine for millenaries. So it means that they have experimented that medicine for millenaries. It has been central in their medicine, their culture for millenaries. So of course they have experience. The Bwiti is the sum of all knowledges from the 50 tribes in Gabon around this medicine. So if they dance like this, if they carry a torch, if they sing some songs, if they eat some stuff, if they use that leaves or that bark, there's reason. They are not stupid. It's not because, that's why it's a bit racist. They experimented it for millenaries, right? Not on rats and dogs in a lab. They have experimented. So that means that the Westerners doesn't really understand everything that is around Iboga that makes the treatment. It's not only Iboga. It's everything around that makes the experience, not only Iboga. Iboga is the tool of the experience. It's a main tool, yes. Let's say it's the key, but it's not the house, right? It's not the treasure behind the door. No. You know what I mean? So it's the key. It's the shortcut, Iboga. And there's not only one shortcut in the planet. It's not only Iboga. I mean, I know people who have seen everything that I've seen in Iboga without Iboga. Near-death experience, people with peyote, people with tobacco have the experience, people, even women giving birth has very high experience that are very close to what you can have with Iboga, meeting your God, understand who you are, connecting to ancestors. It's not only Bwiti and Iboga who knows how to do it.
No.
You know?
Yeah.
But Iboga is a strong tool. It's a shortcut. It's a very strong tool. But it's not the medicine. The medicine is what has been built around. You know what I mean?
All the time, yeah.
So when you come back to the West just with your medicine and few tools, and it can look, and on one side very dangerous, and another side shameful in a way, like insulting. But disrespectful. But once again, I don't want to blame, because most of people got goodwill. They want to heal people. You know, but you everybody told you what means Ganga?
Oh, I've just known Ganga. I mean, I know it as spiritual leader or the person that carries the medicine, but that's as far as I know. Because, I know Elizabeth and Chor from way back, and, just the people I've interviewed. Yeah.
Ganga, it means healer. It means a prophet. It means a doctor. That's the modern meaning of Ganga. Ganga, it's a combination of two words. I will tell you about the etymology of Ganga. Nga is to save. Ganga is the saved savior. A saved savior.
Wow.
And Ganga. Nga, it's to save someone. Ganga is to save savior. That's what it means. So it's one who has been saved, who received the medicine, who improved the healing on himself. And once he's clean, he has been healed. With his own experience, he can share that to save others. But you recognize that you have to save you first. Now what it become in the West, it become the kind of Ganga where you save the others, you save yourself through the others. It's the mirror. It means that some people do not realize that when it comes to heal people, it's themselves who they are working on. It's not other people. And most of the time, it's when those people recognize that, in fact, they are working on themselves through the others. Most of the time, they start to stop to do that. They recognize that they are working on themselves, and they start to look at healing in a different way, right?
Wow.
That's where you become Ganga. It's where you understand that you have to work on you first. I mean, to really experiment that on you first. And then when you understand, for example, you have a particular skill on a particular trauma, and you have been able to manage that with the medicine, you can work with some people who have the same profile as you, because you have the experience on you, and you know how it works on you, and you can share that with someone else. You become a Ganga. You are a Ganga not only because you know Iboga. For example, if you come to Gabon for example, we know that you had a trauma, and you have been healed by your trauma, learning psychology, and now you know how to manage. You have to coach women with this trauma through your psychology. In Gabon, you will consider you as a Ganga. They will call you Mabundi, not Ganga. But if we talk about a man, we're going to say you are Ganga, even if you are not initiated to Bwiti, even if you don't know Iboga, you will be a Ganga. As long as you heal people with your experience, you are a Ganga, a saved savior, right? So that's what is a Ganga. It means, and now there's Ganga in Bwiti who know how to use Iboga because they use that on themselves, and they improve themselves on that for years and years and years, and they know every way Iboga can work. Iboga can be very funny, can be very scary. You know that? Can be very, very funny. It can be very, very scary, right? It's like a knife with two sides.
I'm used to that scary stuff, but yeah, it was pretty intense.
Yeah.
Like, there it is again.
It's a knife with two sides. I don't know how you call that in English.
Oh yeah, double-edged sword. Definitely.
Okay. Iboga, it's like a very loving, strong father in a way, and that's it. So you really need to improve it and improve it and improve it and improve it to be able to treat a lot of people, to be able to understand the way it can work, and and also to experience on many different profiles in front of your master. I mean, in Gabon, there's rules. Sorry, I talk a lot, but
no, this is great.
In Gabon, there's rules when you want to be a Ganga in Bwiti. There's rules that you have to follow. First rules, you need to be initiated, of course, and to have a master with who you study and with who you have no conflict. So first, you need to be part of a school with a master, and you have a master who study you, who teach you. You're not alone. You're not a self-made man. You have a master. You are in a school first, initiated. Then you have to be in peace with your whole family. No conflict with your mother, your brother, your sister, your grandfather, your ancestors. You have to be in peace with your family, your kids, etc., etc. Third, you have to have a job on the side. You don't have to depend only on the medicine. It's not financial. You don't do that for money. You need to have a job. My first master was military. My second master is a lawyer, an attorney. It's not his job. He doesn't make money with Iboga. 4, you need to be stable in your emotional life, private life. Ideally, in Gabon, if you are a man, you need to be married with a woman, engaged, not a woman one day, another woman another day. You need to be married, right? And your wife has to be initiated too. She needs to share the same philosophy than you. She has to work with you. For example, if you come to my house for treatment, I don't have the right to treat you, to touch you. It's my wife. Imagine you need to make a bath. You need to make a bath, a cleaning bath. I don't have the right to touch you. I will not see you naked and washing you. I can't touch you. I need to have a wife who does the job. What is done with women is between women. Me as a man, I can't enter in that space. It's not my role. I can talk to you, but I can't approach you. I can't touch you. So I need to work with my wife. I need to be married with a woman who carry my tradition, to share the same philosophy. Then I need to have kids. Why? Because the master has to see the way you are responsible of the education of your kids. You want to see what kind of father you are. If you, they want to see how good father you are. If you are patient, how do you deal with their education? If you are responsible of them, if you are a good father. Of course, if you have responsibility of people in your retreat center, you have to be a good father or a good mother. You want to, when people are under the effect of the medicine, they are like babies. So we want to see if you are patient to look after them, and what kind of teaching you give to them. Or you can raise kids, right? Wow. When you have all of that, it's the master who choose when you can get the right to be initiated. You don't ask for the right to give the medicine. It's the master who says, now you're ready to give the medicine. And then you need to own a land. He asks you to buy a land. You need to own your space. You can't do the medicine elsewhere than in your house, in your land. It's not like what we see online. You can rent a space in Costa Rica, you rent a space in Portugal, a nice space for a B&B for 3 days. You bring your family there, you bring your Bwiti there, your tools, you do your retreat and you move out. It doesn't exist in Bwiti because of energy, because of all the tools you need, because of many, 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 many reasons.
Wow.
So you need to own the land, to own your land where you're going to practice. You don't move your Bwiti energy. Once it's like this, your master, he bring you to your village, he help you to put the first part of your temple, you can initiate people. So he make a ceremony with you. Or I forget to say that you have bring a lot of passions to your master, and you have worked your master to heal hundreds of people, and he see the way and sometimes he tell you to manage, and he look at all the way you work with passions. I forget that rule. So when all those rules are done, then there's a ceremony. He gives you the blessings, and then you move to your land, and you can start to give the medicine. You see the whole process?
Yeah.
Initiated,
Lifetime.
discipline to a school, obey to your master, be in peace with your family, bringing some passions, working with them, learning everything, being engaged with a wife, being married or an husband, having kids, having a job, not depending on the medicine, being in peace with your whole family, and then having a land, and then you can work with the medicine. Okay? So we are far away from what we see actually in the West. Far away. Far away. That's the way people start to have some men doing what happens very often, some men doing retreats with women, and then they're rape or projection of rape. There's some energetical problem. It won't happen if you do that with your wife. There was no, so all these stuff got reasons. But people, they don't look at it. They see like it's an exotical, indigenous culture that maybe got no sense in the West. They don't give credit to everything that is around. But they see, but they don't see. They see the exotic part, which said they don't see the technical science part of what is around the medicine. You know what I mean? So that's where we are.
How did you come to this medicine yourself? And were you working with other medicines first, or?
So, first of all, I'm studying plant medicine since I'm young, a kid, because my grandmother. I used to live in the countryside, and my grandmother used to work a lot with plants from the garden. It was part of my daily routine, let's say. And also because my mother was quite sick. She got some psychological issues. She has been abandoned when she was a kid, when she was 5 years old. So she has post-traumatic disorders. And she started to be addicted to prescription drugs against depression. Mm-hmm. So she started to become really in trouble, being regularly at the hospital, psychiatric hospital. And I was looking at the way people were treating my mother, and I was deeply convinced inside me that it was not the right way to deal with that, because I was really open to plant medicines and really open to other traditions, because I grew up in in a family that is mixed origins, and I was very close to many African people, West Indies people, Arabic people from everywhere. And I was very open to other way to treat people. So that was the first part. So, I was really connected very young to African culture and West Indies culture, because my mother come from South Africa, right? And my ancestors come from Mauritius, and in India, and also Irish. It's very mixed, and Scottish. It's very mixed. So, later I'm I'm a consultant, intercultural management and sustainable development. So when I was in the 30s, I was working for a big French company, and I was working in information and communication new technologies, Wi-Fi, RFID stuff at the very beginning of that wave in Europe. And I was working in that area, and I was a specialist on e-learning solution for Africa, African-speaking countries for that big French company. And the first project that I received was integrating e-learning technologies in Gabon. So we recruiting a staff and a project manager. And one guy on the staff was a Gabonese guy called Armstead and Gema. And he was a Ganga. He was a Iboga Ganga. He was a healer. And me at that stage, I had those post-traumatic disorders, traumas from my ancestors, working with my brain, with my mother's stuff, my childhood with my mother suffering a lot. My father also was a bit violent and drinking a bit, and taking kind of drugs. So I was like trying not to reproduce a model like everybody that tried to escape from a loop that you don't understand. And I was also experimenting like alcohol, drugs, like not so heavy drugs, but I was experimenting a lot, cannabis, a lot, also acids, and finally cocaine. And in that business area in Paris, in ICTs with money, cocaine was quite common, and alcohol and stuff. So one day I went to a meeting with Aristide in my car in Paris, driving very fast to go to a meeting, And he noticed because he know how to consult, like I show you the way to do it. And I was driving very fast and to go to the meeting like this, And then, and he said to me, "Look, Yann, you should relax. You look very anxious. And I talk to you because we are in the car, and I think you have some stuff to deal with, traumas, and I know that you are using some drugs, and as the Gabonese, as your big brother, I'm a Gabonese guy who like you. I would like to introduce you to a kind of Gabonese cocaine, a kind of pygmy cocaine, a kind of Gabonese drugs that you can feel kind of some effect, that you can feel very accurate intellectually and very open and stuff with a lot of energy, but without the bad side effect of cocaine. It's a kind of cocaine. So he introduced me like that. He didn't talk about, saying, you will see what you're looking for. You will find that here without the side effect. It's great. It's the best drug you will ever tried. So he invited me to go in Normandy, in the north of France, where American people came to deliver French people during the Second World War. So I went in that kind of beach, Homa beach there, in a retreat with him. And he gave me just like 2 spoons of Iboga with some music and a candle, right? And so there were a kind of preparation where he told me, well, don't take any drugs for 72 hours before going there, don't eat meat. So there was kind of some advices to follow, and I didn't follow those advices.
Oh my God.
I just took cocaine just before going there.
Yeah.
I didn't listen to anything. Honestly, I tell you, I confess, I didn't listen to the advices, but I'm a strong guy. So luckily I'm a strong guy because I was this to die. It was very intense for me because I had cocaine in the blood plus Iboga. And I've been very, very sick, and it has been very scary, and I've seen so many stuff, and I was really so close to die, to have a heart attack, and I did purge myself so much. It was very intense. And it was 2 nights. And after that, I was disgusted for life with drugs and being not in the control of my body and I was totally disgusted about even eating meat and cigarette perfume, and I was clean, like totally clean. And I did cry a lot for the first time. Like in my family, when you feel man, you don't cry.
Mm-hmm.
And I had this teaching of my father, like you have to, I have cried a lot because I've seen stuff that was so powerful, that kind of stuff that you can see with the medicine. So I just after that, like, wow, what, wow, and so clean and feeling so light and so released and so peace and so everything that that you can feel after the medicine. And I immediately thought, that's the medicine I want to know, I want to learn. And I don't want to learn that in France. I want to go to the source. So jump to the Gabon to be initiated and to start to learn. Because I was working with Gabon, so it was easy for me to do that. Yeah. And I quickly stopped my job because I after the medicine, I was thinking what I'm doing in ICT's companies, taking drugs after a contract and stuff like that. No fucking hell. I've cleaned my life a lot. So I did totally invest in Gabon. And I was one of the first white guy. I was the first white guy in my village to come there. And it was rare this period. And Gabonese people were amazed about one white guy from Paris in ICT is coming to be initiated in Gabon. And I've been invited on TV, national TV, on prime time on Sunday at 8 p.m. to talk about my experience because my master was fighting against colonialism and evangelism, wanted to show that a white guy can be in love in their tradition. And it has been a big buzz in Gabon, big buzz. To hear a white guy in a suit talking like that about the medicine that has been delivered and saved like that was a big shock. It was strategy from my master. And after that, I've been invited to many radio show and TV show in Gabon and stuff. And then I was thinking, well, yeah, it's very interesting stuff to do, like in terms of reciprocity, in terms of relation between Europe in Africa, in terms of repairing the history of colonialism. For me, on my personal lineage, than in my family, the story in South Africa of my family, mixed family, I have all this karma in my bloodline, So for me, it was like obvious that I can clean my lineage being in the service of that, following my master and doing that job. Wow. That's the way I decided to engage in Gabon fully. And also I wanted to learn how to heal my parents, how to heal my mother, how to heal my father, how to heal myself, my kids, my wife. I wanted to help people I love with that. Because of course I knew a lot of people drug addicted with traumas. Like my mother has traumas, I had traumas, my wife has been raped, my daughter has been raped. And for me it was I need to know how to heal my family, myself and my family. So I went for me first and for my family first, right? But in Gabon, in France, it was legal. So this guy used to make retreats every weekend. So I used to go with him and to help him to cook for people and to help him when people was vomiting, to empty the buckets of, and to, I'm a tall, strong guy. So I was here also to help when there was some difficulties, etc. So I start to be committed in helping people, and learning. So I can tell you that now, 22 years after, I've seen like more than 1,000 guys. I've helped more than 1,000 guys to go through that process. But I'm studying still, I'm studying, and I wait my day, that my master tell me, okay, though I'm in that position too. Yeah, I'm in peace with my family. I'm married. I got kids, 4 kids. I mean, I don't have land yet. I don't own a land. So I got a job. I didn't pay in. So I'm following the process. Yes, I'm following
and you
the process.
run Blessings of the Forest as well, which I want to ask about. How did that come about, and what is the purpose of Blessings of the Forest?
Blessing of the forest is about studying, conserving, and promoting sustainably and fairly the cultural and natural heritage of people of Gabon. It's about that, blessing of the forest. It's about receiving the blessing from the heritage of the forest, of the people of the forest, and the sciences of the forest. It's about receiving this blessing and understanding that it's a blessing and we shouldn't control it and we have to share it, but being in that loop, of honoring that, right? And basically, it's about implementing the Nagoya Protocol that Gabon is the first country in the world to have signed, that consecrates the intangible relation between nature and culture. And Gabon is the first country to have signed it. And Gabon have signed this protocol because of the work that we have done with my adoptive father, Gassita, rest in peace, who was the dean of the Iboga research. First African Gabonese guy to be laureate of the graduate of the medicine school of Paris, dean of, Iboga research, the guy who introduced Lotsof to the president of Gabon to get medicine to make his researches. It's my adoptive father in Gabon. And together we have made a report, a state of knowledge, a summary of 13,000 pages of document about the West looking at Iboga stuff. Wow. We have made a summary of 50 pages of document summary for the government of Gabon to look at what's going on around Iboga. So then Gabon signed the Nagoya Protocol to protect this cultural heritage, to not allow the world to dissociate these genetic resources from the communities who kept that heritage alive for centuries, facing colonialism and evangelism and stuff. So Nagoya consecrate that, and Blessing of the Forest is dedicated to implementing that protocol in Gabon around Iboga and other traditional medicine plants and associated knowledges around that. So once we decided to create that, we needed to have support from abroad, with a system to receive funds, with special funds called like a financial mechanism, and also with the infrastructure that can make people being confident in putting money in, because people are not so confident with Africa. So we need to have a structure out of Gabon, a legal structure in a country, very solid country, to receive funds and to be controlled. That's the way I've decided to, with the blessing of my elders, to go to UK where it was legal, to create to start a community interest company that is close to an NGO, but it's more flexible, to start to receive some funds, to create a structure, to receive some funds, to then share with Gabon, with the link between Europe and Gabon. Wow. So I went to UK and I've met the co-director, David Nassim, who is a Chinese medicine consultant. And we've started to talk about the subject, and one day we make a ceremony. We took the medicine, and in the ceremony I've seen that logo, and I start to draw the base of that, Blessing of the Forest, what we want to do, what is our name, what is our logo. During that ceremony, we did that. And then we start to ask the people who has been healed by the medicine, that I know because I've met lots of people, to start to help us to fund that. We start to raise some funds to create that structure, and then to open Blessing of the Forest Gabon NGO legal structure to send those funds, and to then connecting to the best community we knew, because I've met in 22 years more than 200 communities in Gabon, to choose first 10 communities, because we didn't have enough funds, to start to make a pilot project around traditional medicine and Iboga sustainable domestication studies, etc., to create an alternative regarding Iboga poaching, to create a source, an ethical source that make maximum profit for the communities, that create income generative activities, that create an alternative of poaching, of leaving the countryside because they have no job, etc. So it creates poaching. So Iboga became a way to implement Nagoya and to create an alternative to poaching and income-generating activities for communities to stay in the forest and not being obliged to live in the cities. That's the way we have started Blessing of the Forest.
Wow.
And slowly, Browner start to help us, David Browner.
David, yeah.
And then Dave Browner creates Indigenous Medicine Conservation Fund.
Mm-hmm.
So they come to support us. We join a group. And then people who have been saved by the medicine that we meet sometimes, they give us donations. We don't have so much money, you know. This year we have for now we have $270,000 fund to save Iboga from being poached by the West, you know, by the world and stuff, and to help communities together into national branches, NGO branches. And we don't have so much fun this year. Last year, we have $500,000 to do the job. But in 10 years, we have already distributed $3 million in Gabon to 14 communities, to around 8,000 Gabonese people. We have helped to create 20 farms. And we this month, we have reached 100,000 Iboga trees domesticated. Wow. 100,000 Iboga trees. And 32 income-generative activities of beekeeping, handicraft, traditional music, ecotourism, world economy around. There are structures on NGO, community NGO. They own their forest. We help them to own their forest. Activities with women, for the women victim of violences like rape. They make stuff like necklace like that, or loincloths, or we finance school for 187 kids, mainly Babongo kids, Pygmy kids. I mean, we have invested lots of $3 million in 10 years in that, to trust build with communities, to create those farms, those model, permaculture model, not only Iboga, but every medicines around. Yeah. Wow. And you can go on Blessing of the Forest website or YouTube channel and see videos of those farms and those people. So we create a traditional fishing, stuff like that. And that's the model where the medicine can be domesticated by the communities, sold by the communities, maximum profit from them, making bridge about traditional knowledges, and having. But it's a dream. It's a bit naive, huh? It's a bit. I have a dream, It's a bit naive because it looks like the West, and and now we are dealing with a big lobby in the U.S. Biotech companies and governors from states, from Republican states, and now it's Trump. Finally asking to get Iboga, so to have Iboga. So it may be a bit naive, but what we propose is to have this direct relation between the final users and the elders who have kept this medicine alive, this tradition alive, no matter the history and every difficulties that they've met, and that they want to make that bridge with the West in a sustainable and fair way. Yeah. So we try to make that bridge existing, right? We're trying to be mediators, not middlemen, People say, we want to be the middle. No, it's open to everybody. I mean, Nagoya Protocol is for everybody. Everybody can go to Gabon and decide to create an NGO, and everybody. You have to go slowly. You have to be Gabonese I'm Gabonese. So to be president of a Gabonese NGO, you need to be Gabonese. So I'm Gabonese, but you can create an NGO in Gabon. Any Gabonese can create an NGO and start to raise funds to create the same model. And there's other people who start to do that. There is other NGOs start to raise now, to exist, to domesticate Iboga, and to propose alternative of poaching. So it's a model. We worked on implementing a model to share a model, a pilot project model, and we hope that people will follow it and will do the same. But we are non-profit, full non-profit. Yeah. All the money is for communities. Yeah. That's it. So we produce music, we produce movies, cultural movies, we produce traditional artists. We have also a social fund when there is some event like last week there was the king of Gabon who want to meet to talk about the tradition. We finance that kind of stuff. We help in reinforcing the culture and the nature heritage. Yes,
Amazing.
that's what we do.
Amazing.
And now with the war in Ukraine and the war in the Middle East and funds are more difficult to get, and with Trump also a system, it's for NGOs in the world and in Africa, it's much more difficult now. So, but
Wow.
the actual political and economical context in United States, it's so pushy, so that's we need to act. We need to
Yep.
act. We need to act.
Yeah.
So we try to do that. And so Blessing of the Voice today, it's 14 NGOs with us, 20 farms, 8,000 Gabonese traditional people. It's Nagoya implemented. It's law enforcement. We work on it. We making lobbying to reinforce laws. It's a campaign to aware people what's going on. It's TV programs. It's a TikTok channel for young Gabonese people, for them to be proud about their cultural heritage. It's
Mhm. Wow.
it's it's a world educational lobbying social support project. Yeah, it's a model that we try to promote. That's it. That's what we are.
Incredible.
Mhm.
Wow. Thank you for this work. That was the one thing I had heard from day one a long time ago was blessings of the forest, where and it's the money going directly to people, and there's not 10 middlemen in the middle of it. So
No,
thank you.
actually, 72% of the money we receive go directly to the communities.
Amazing.
72. It's a big rate for NGOs in Africa, I
Yeah.
can tell you. Of course, we need to pay,
Yeah.
this office,
Yeah.
30% of the cost of this office is paid by Blessing the Forest, for example. I need to get a salary,
Yeah.
internet
Travel.
connection,
Yeah.
plane ticket, but it's
Yeah.
only 28% that is for operational activities. The rest is for communities.
Amazing. Well, we'll
Mm.
put the links right here in the show notes. And this is something where I know people have tried to build this into business models, but it is, I think, talked about is if you are working with this medicine, especially, give some of it back to this organization. It's like building in the reciprocity into the model of if you're going to work with this medicine, give back how you can, you know?
Yeah, and if it's us, thanks a lot in advance. And if it's other cause, it's okay. But for me, the main important is check where you get your medicine from. You know,
Yeah.
don't let's be careful about
Yeah.
what we what we put in our body, what we use as a medicine. Just the first recommendation before giving us money would be please check the source. Check the source. Be sure that it's not poached. Be sure that it's not stolen to a community.
Mm,
Check with who you're working. Due diligence. I mean, yeah, check.
wow.
Try if you have the medicine. Try to find a way to make reciprocity. If it's not with us, it's another Gabonese NGO. No problem. Try to connect with the source. Try to go to see the tree, to plant a tree. I would say every people who has been saved by the tree should plant 3 trees for the future generations. Yeah.
Amazing.
And now,
Yeah.
if you want to help us, it's thanks a lot by Harvard. So we would appreciate a
Yeah.
lot for sure.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, I encourage everybody, even if it's just a little, it's like the least we can do is give back to these medicines. So, well, Yann, this was just absolutely incredible. It's so funny because I've heard about you for 7, 8 years now, and I'm like, okay, got to get you on.
Let's do it. No, welcome, my sister. You're my sister. Welcome. Yeah, and you can write to me when you have some questions. Sorry for my English.
Oh my God, your English is great.
Oh,
I understood everything.
cool. Well, I mean, I don't have so many words, so it's easy. So, but thank you for making the effort to give me the voice, to give the community the voice, and to be patient with my accent and to listen to my point of view. Thank you for that. And if you have questions, I can answer in English with the better English. And if one day you come to Gabon, I mean, give me a call, because maybe I'll be there in the area, and we'll be very happy to welcome you.
Well, we have a friend that lives there who I got put into a group of Gabon 2027.
Okay.
Our friend Bobby.
Cool. Bobby, which one?
Bobby!
Yeah, Bobby from Lambaréné. Bobby! We live in Gabon from Lambaréné. Yeah, good guy. Yeah, okay, cool.
Well, during my 2 ceremonies, I had a few visions, but one of them in particular showed me the inside of a temple. I have no idea what a temple looks like, and I described it to him, and it's a temple. So I was like, and I've had dreams, lots of dreams. So we'll see. Maybe I'll make it there one day.
Okay. I mean, poke me if you come. Okay.
Definitely. Thank you so much, Yann. It was so good to have you here.
Yeah, thank you to you. Yeah.
Many blessings.
Blessings.
I hope you enjoyed the episode. If you're feeling inspired, I'd appreciate it if you showed your love with a review. And check out my YouTube channel where you can find the video version of this podcast. You can also head to bethaweinstein.com to learn more about me and grab my free business growth trainings. Remember, you carry your own unique medicine, and your medicine is what we need for these times.